And welcome back to the Two Words Podcast, where we're talking about tag teams, the unsung heroes that kind of, it's up and down. It's such an, like, nobody can be like, oh, I love tag team wrestling. It's just like, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's awful. But we like it when it's great. I love tag team. It's a good way to get a bunch of different guys in. But sometimes to me, like, I don't get why we do it. I think one thing that I really wish we'd stop doing with tag teams is, you two guys hate each other and have a big match coming up. Well, you better learn to get along because we're having a tag team match.
I don't think we've actually done that in a while.
I think it's been a while, but that was
a long stretch.
Yeah, it was like every time.
Yeah.
I remember they did a huge build up for Rock Cena. At the first time they did WrestleMania, and then like somewhere right in the middle, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna put you in a tag team match at Survivor Series against the Awesome Truth." What?
Why?
That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. Right off the bat, like, who are some of your favorite tag teams?
I got a whole list. I love tag teams, okay?
I've got a list of more tag teams I love than tag teams I hated.
Same. I'm going to start right off the bat with Too Cool.
Too Cool.
They weren't the best tag team when it came to wrestling, but they were super dang entertaining.
Yeah.
Two-man power trip, which was Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin. A brief run, but it was brutal.
I forgot about that.
Of course, Brothers of Destruction is up there at the top tier. Undertaker and Kane. New Age Outlaws, Rock and Sock Connection, the APA, the Dudley Boys, the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, DX, Los Guerreros, Kane and RVD, Kane and Daniel Bryan, Kane and X-Pac, the Usos, the Lucha Bros, the Young Bucks, FTR. I love them all.
You love them all. But note, there are a lot more Attitude Era tag teams so like, I was looking through my list, and you really have three different you have three different really like separations when it comes to tag teams. You have the Hardys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys, which they're in just their own.
That's a top tier. That's a golden tier.
They're in their own segment of tag team wrestling because it had nothing. You didn't watch it because of the tag team titles.
No.
I'm not even sure I could ever really recall a match where those titles were necessarily on the line.
I couldn't tell you if they were on the line or not in any of the matches. I'm sure they had to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, there were those ladder matches. I guess the ladder matches they had to have been, but like, if those three guys should be those six guys, I guess, should be inducted into the Hall of Fame all at the same time.
Absolutely.
Just as one induction, because they really transformed the way we watched tag team wrestling. Then you have tag teams like the British Bulldogs and the Hart Foundation, the Mega Powers, and Legion of Doom. And this was the first time you saw tag teams that were like a group.
Right.
And like that group had some sort of like, that was the beginning of putting actual factions together.
Yeah.
I mean, before that you had like the Four Horsemen, but I couldn't name another faction pre the Hart Foundation.
That's what made them such a big deal, is it was like four big names all coming together to, work with each other. And
it hit kind of a high during the Ruthless Aggression era, because you had on SmackDown you had let's see if I can figure out remember the tag teams. It was Edge and Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, and no, Kurt Angle and Kurt Angle and gosh, I can't think of all the guys that were in that. Basically, you had Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, Edge, Chris Benoit, and to say Rey Mysterio? Rey Mysterio.
Well, here's the kind
Yeah,
of
those guys, and like they, and what's his name? I'm blanking on names.
going on.
Paul Heyman, he had figured out a way, like, if we put these guys in tag teams, we can make we can make matches where like all of these different guys are like mixed matched and singles, but there's
And it would feel natural.
Yeah.
It's always weird when there's a tag team that's just a tag team.
Yeah.
And you try and put them in singles matches. It feels strange. But yeah, I understand that. Like there's a question you're going to ask, which is why is the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era better than now?
Yeah.
I think that's exactly why. In my mind, a successful tag team division needs two kinds of teams. Legit, we only wrestle together tag teams, and main eventers taking a shot at the tag team division for a while.
Yeah.
Right now, instead of main eventers, the partnership tag teams are made up of mid-carders, not even main eventers.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing we were talking about with the minor titles when we did that episode, is that, used to, Intercontinental Championship could main event a pay-per-view. Like, they were given pretty high regard.
Yeah.
But now anything that's not the main title is given, a lower status. But like in Attitude and Ruthless Era, we saw Rock and Mankind, Stone Cold and Triple H, Undertaker and Kane, Jericho and Big Show, Undertaker and The Rock.
Jericho.
Yeah.
I forgot about Jericho.
Undertaker and The Rock, Undertaker and Stone Cold, Cena and HBK, Cena and Batista, Triple H and HBK, Orton and Edge. All of them worked great together. All of them held the titles. All of them went up against some of the best seasoned tag teams of all time. It gave two main eventers the opportunity to still be in the championship scene without making them lose to the current world champion over and over again.
Yeah.
But since then, we've kind of stopped putting real glory behind the tag title, so it looks like a demotion for a main eventer to team up and then go for them.
Someone ruined that, though. Someone came along and ruined it.
Who was that?
And his name is John Cena. Because John Cena is the worst tag team. Like, statistically, it's not arguably, it's statistically, he is the worst tag team partner ever. He won the tag team champions he was tag team champions with Shawn Michaels one time for an hour and a half.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
How do you lose anything when you're in a tag team with Shawn Michaels?
Oh gosh.
And his name is John Cena. Like, come on, man. And so really, like, that's what happened. Is like a main eventer was a quality star stepped into tag team for so long. He said like 7 runs as a tag team champion, and they've all ended within a week. But then we moved into whatever this era is, the Universal era still.
I think so, yeah.
And
the PG era.
The PG era, the current era. You're starting to see tag teams that are just tag teams, but could main event. And because I think about like the Usos. The Usos are a phenomenal tag team. Mm-hmm. Neither one of them are main eventers.
Right.
They just can't, because it would look funny them not being together.
Right. But then we have the New Day.
You have the New Day, which is
2 of the 3.
3 main eventers.
Yeah, 2 of the 3 held the title, and the other one was King of the Ring last.
Yeah, but it's still weird to watch Xavier Woods by himself.
Yeah.
Like FTR. FTR would be weird if you like. Dax Harwood would be weird by himself. Mm-hmm. And him and Cash Wheeler can both wrestle. That's not the question. It's just now, like they've figured out there's an aesthetic to it, I think. And I don't know.
Otis was weird by himself.
Otis was very weird by himself.
So it's good being in Alpha Academy.
But that's also because like Otis was not like the guy that you bring out as like the heavy, like, oh my gosh, he's gonna be in this match. It's Otis. It's Otis. Love that guy. So the question is like, is the tag team division getting better, and is it on the rise? Did it hit a plateau like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago?
Yeah,
It's been 6 years. I
don't think it's getting better. Can it? I think it can. But right now, both sets of belts are on the Usos, who aren't going to be losing them for a long time.
Yeah.
There are some promising teams, but the best ones are have injured members at the moment. We had Orton and Riddle for a while. That was fun. Now Orton's out.
Yeah.
We got Riddle doing something with Elias for some reason. I don't know.
I am trying to think if I can name another tag team that I've seen on WWE TV in the last month and a half.
Like, it was looking promising prior to COVID, I think, yeah.
I can't name the tag teams.
Before 2020, I think it was looking promising.
I think that even during COVID, it was still on the rise. And then something happened post-COVID, and we just...
We started splitting up most of the WWE teams for no good reason. There was just that period where Vince McMahon just got in his head like, let's break these guys up. So, we lost Heavy Machinery. We lost what were they called? Brothers Grimm or whatever they were. Luke Harper and Eric Rowan.
Brothers.
They were just getting started. They didn't have enough time to do anything.
It's like Brothers of Doom or something like that.
We lost the LOD ripoffs, whatever they were called. You remember them? Apocalypse or something.
Ascension.
Ascension. We had a whole slew of teams. Then they either all got fired or they got split up. And the only ones that really survived that come to mind are still the ones that are there now, New Day and Usos.
Bludgeon Brothers.
The Bludgeon Brothers.
Bludgeon Brothers is the one.
And the once on top of the world New Day really have been pretty much kind of fizzled out since losing Big E. They've lost a lot of their fire since losing Big E.
Oh yeah, but that's so hard because like we love Big E as a singles competitor.
True.
Like,
and it felt that way too when he had lost it. But even just having him on TV and in the ring with them, still made it feel like
still something.
Yeah, I guess these are what 7-time champions. I don't remember. They held both sets of titles at one point together. Like, it was a big deal. And it kind of feels like a shell of what it was now.
Yeah. Well, and I think, again, we're focusing, and there's a reason for it, I guess, but, we're still focusing so much on the Usos and, like, the bloodline. Mm-hmm. When we went to Amarillo and watched Street Profits and Alpha Academy, and those guys put on a freaking clinic.
How have I not even thought about Street Profits this entire discussion?
Yeah, I don't know. It just popped into my head.
That was a great match.
It was fantastic, and they botched it halfway through. Like,
it was like right at the beginning, didn't they?
Right at the beginning, the middle rope went out, and they were just like, "All right, I guess we're gonna figure this one out."
And it was still a great match. Yeah.
We need
more Street Profits. We got Street Profits. We got Hit Row. Like, there are teams out there that just need to be built up better.
We need to include more of the division.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I think is a problem across WWE and AEW programming altogether.
What's your list of your worst tag teams?
Worst tag teams. Didn't love the Headbangers.
Oh, I forgot all about the Headbangers. I like the Headbangers.
Didn't love
Mosh and Thrasher.
Yeah, something like that. Didn't love. What was the one with Molly Holly? There's the censorship one.
Oh, the RTC, Right to Censor.
Right to Censor. I didn't love that because I didn't love that their theme was just a big siren. Yeah, I didn't love that.
And it went on far too long.
Yeah. Trying to think who else I just really could not stand. It's weird because we got for a while there where we couldn't stand the Shield. Like the Shield was hated. The Shield and New Day were both like this, where we both hated both of them at the beginning. Like hated both of them at the beginning, and then like something happened and they just immediately turned it around.
Those are awesome. So I got Legion of Doom 2.0 on here, which was Animal and Heidenreich.
That's right.
That was bad. I put
Spike Dudley was in that.
Was he?
Wasn't he?
Spike Dudley?
It was Spike Dudley, or it was no, it was he was Puke.
Was it Lodi?
No,
not Lodi. The other guy. Draws.
Draws was in that.
Yeah. That was before this, I think.
So speaking of Lodi though, I don't like West Hollywood Blondes. But there's a reason I don't like West Hollywood Blondes, and it's because they got canned for their gimmick. And then Eric Bischoff shuts down WCW, goes to WWE, and does the exact same thing with Chuck and Bill.
Chuck and Billy.
With Chuck and Billy.
Well, almost the
or Billy and Chuck. Billy and Chuck, whatever it was.
West Hollywood Blonde's story was actually that they were brothers and they were just comfortable with each other. But they never got to actually tell that story because
but like even like at the end, like it upsets me because I'm like and then like they got to the wedding of Billy and Chuck, and one of them was like, wait, we're not actually going through with this, are we? Like, we're not gay.
It's like, aren't you going to stop this? You said we only get so far.
Chuck Palumbo.
I watched that live, and I'm just like, this is the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
The dumbest wedding.
Yeah.
The Billy and Chuck stuff was gross. Yeah. But there were some funny moments.
We forgot about that.
Deuce and Domino I have on here. I have the Spirit Squad on here. Spirit Squad for me was the opposite of New Day and the Shield. I liked them initially, and then they really started to grate on me.
Spirit Squad served a purpose, though.
It did.
It was to make DX look absolutely really fantastic.
Last one on my list is Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie. I hated it.
Just a little too much.
I hated the whole thing.
Just a little too much.
Love Terry Funk. Really love Mick Foley. One of the all-time favorites of mine.
Yeah.
Hated them as a tag team. Hated them.
Yeah. I get that. Well,
except for the bump that they took. Sorry. Except for the bump that they took. With the New Age Outlaws, threw them in a dumpster.
Yeah.
And then rolled them off the stage legitimately in that dumpster. It wasn't full of padding or anything. Just garbage and metal. And they took that beef.
Garbage, metal, and gravity.
Terry Funk has been 89 years old since the 90s.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed
He
that
ain't stopping.
that.
He ain't stopping.